Woo-wee, what's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. I'm excited, so I'm bringing you another knife today. That's what we do. Bringing you not just a knife, but ADV Tactical. And I told you in my top 5 favorite knife designers video about Andrew DeVillis and how he is one of my top designers. I just love what this guy does. Now, when we design, not design, but when we review knives, first and foremost, does the knife work? Obviously, that's the main goal of everything. But I get a lot heavily into design, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It's not just does it work, but it's does the design make it work, right? And sometimes you have certain knives that work because of how they're designed, and that's why it's so important. And this is one of those knives. How this knife is designed is what makes it so good. And one of the things I really wanted about this knife is because if I just read the specs and never saw the actual design and the ingenuity that went into this knife, and I know you don't know yet, but I'll tell you, I would have been like, no way, no how. The grip is way too small, blah, da, 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 da. It's a sheep's foot. I probably wouldn't get anything out of the tip, blah, blah, blah. And I would have some things to complain about if I didn't see the design. And that's what makes this thing so unique, is the fact that everything about the build of this knife, as far as size, for someone like me with 2X hands, everything about this screams, stay away. Stay away, it's not made for you. And most would be because there wouldn't be this little finger area right here. You'd be sitting in like this, and I would have no grip on the knife. None. I wouldn't be able to do it. Wouldn't be able to use it. But design geniusness changes everything. It's all in angle, and how you put the proportions, not how you size the proportions. And that's what makes this guy such an amazing designer, is he can take something that normally wouldn't work for a lot of people and make it work for pretty much any people. And that's something I can respect. Let's first get into this. Look at this carbon fiber sheath, man. This is real carbon fiber. This isn't one of those crappy inlay things. You have the take it on and off the belt without having to take it on and off the belt. And I still have a clip, and I might get the 3-inch clip for the Ulti clip and do that on there, because I think this just needs to be my main pocket fixed blade. I really do. It's called the Box Butcher because it's literally what it's made for. This isn't made for skin and deer, and it's not made for doing this. This is made just to pull out of your pocket and rip things open. And 90% of you guys who own a knife use their knives for reaching over and ripping open some kind of package or whatever. You're in the kitchen, you got to open up a package of steak, boom. You're doing whatever you go. You just bought something new, you got to rip open the package, boom. You get a new box from eBay, boom. That's what most people use a knife for. So why not have the best knife for it? And that's what I thought when I got this, is I use different knives all the time. Whatever's on me, whatever's in my pocket, that's going to be my box cutter, right? That's going to be my package opener. That's going to be my steak knife. So it's really nice to have a knife that's actually made for it. So here's another thing. What we're going to do is I tested this, and so far it seemed to go good, and it was by request. Some people, when they see a 20-minute video, they're like, no, it's too long. I can't sit around. And I can't sit around. All I wanted to do was see the knife be used, and I can't sit around for 20 minutes. And my first thought is fast forward. It doesn't. But so I started doing part 1, part 2 on knife reviews. So I'm going to tell you about this blade, part 1. So you're going to know everything about this thing, and then part 2 is just going to be a user vid. So let's just go over the stats real quick. These glasses are so dark, I have to lift them up. Overall length is 6 1/4 inches. The blade length is 3 3/4 inches. The cutting edge is 2 3/4 inches. The blade width is 1.3 inches. Blade thickness is 1.6 inches. It is D2. sheep's foot with a flat grind, plain edged. The handle, this is the part that got me, 3 inches. I would never buy a 3-inch handle knife unless there was something going on with it. We'll get into it. The handle width is 1.18 inches. Handle thickness is a 1/2 inch. The handle material is G10. They come in different colors. Let's see. And it's a fixed blade. And that's it. So now I'm looking at like the some of like the write-ups on it, and it talks about how the Box Butcher is beefed up fixed blade with the structural integrity of most of your reliable survival knives, which it is. He makes these things really freaking good. And it gives you the security of a karambit. Finger ring and spinal jimping give you a tight grip for forward and reverse holds, and the sheep's foot blade makes for great draw cuts. And that's really where this thing is going to shine, is in the draw cut, pull, and cut. Just, it's a draw cut. This thing is not supposed to fit my hand. It's not supposed to. Now, when you look at it, if I hold the handle straight, the blade goes that way. If I hold the blade straight, the handle goes that way. You see how it has this bend in it, right? It goes up and down. What this does is, without adding length, it adds length. So this spine right here, this lift, rises from the handle, and it extends your 3-inch handle all the way out here, bringing it to so your handle goes from 3 inches to 4 1/4, just like that. So here is a 3-inch handle. Here is a 4 1/4 inch handle. 4 1/4 inch handle is what you need pretty much for any knife. Now, when you grab it, are you getting the full 4 1/4 with your palm? No. But what you're doing is you're taking this finger and you're putting it in this finger choil. Now you're pulling the knife into your hand, right? So rather than just grabbing a knife, and you could see where my pinky wouldn't have anything and it would slide right out, this area right here pulls the knife into you, and now you can see where my pinky is because it's pulled, because of that bend. That angle pulls it into you, and now my pinky is actually right here on this area. You see where it's nice and jimped here? It is literally tugging me in to the knife. And these little finger wells right here, amazing. They just do the job. I can actually close my hand on it. Now this ramp right here gives me a really, really nice positive hold. So when I do have that draw, boom, boom, this blade with a forward cant is just straight up cut. There's no miscuts because you're not sliding backwards. Everything is forward. The cant is aggressive. It goes into the cut. That, my friends, is what makes this thing so freaking spectacularly done as far as the design, right? And that's why I can appreciate it. And it's something that would go unlooked. Normally you'd look at it and you'd decide if you'd like it or not by the look. You'd say, hey, that's either a nice looking blade or I really don't like the look of that blade. That's how you normally go into it. But when you look at the nuance of the construction and you look at the engineering behind it, every part of this knife is built specifically for a certain way, and that's design. That's why the knife works so good. If this was straight, it wouldn't work so good. You wouldn't have this extended portion helping you with the cut. It wouldn't be there. So that is why I was so eagerly anticipating this knife. It's not just a really good knife, and we're going to test that, and we'll show you. But design-wise, you won't find a better knife with a 3-inch handle than this one right here. You won't. You won't be able to find a 3-inch handle that has such a positive impact on the hold as this knife right here. This thing is incredible. It is incredible. Now, you'll notice he does a full-length fuller. This is one of his staples. He does these on a lot of knives. And it's really tastefully done. This doesn't look like like the broken knife. Normally you'd get the flat piece and it looks like a broken knife and the fuller just ran out. This is intentionally done to just look good. Now, you can't really tell by looking, but this right here is different degree than this. So your spine comes down pretty much nearly flat. Right here is almost flat, and then right here is a curl. It's really hard to see, but it's actually two different dimensions in this spot, and what makes it happen is this. So what it does is just gives you, really, you're not going to need it for shock really, but it absorbs shock and hitting. It's a short blade, you're not going to need to absorb shock, but it's just the fact that that's what it does. Not only that, but it creates strength and stability in the blade, so you're not going to have blade twist and things like that. It just adds strength. Anytime you add an arch, boom, right? You get a lot of knives that have like stick tangs or partial tangs, and what they do is they come down from the blade and then they have two 90-degree angles, and that's why K-bars snap so much at the tang, is because of the 90-degree angles. Curves make your knives stronger and sexy. But right there, if you were to feel it, it's because of this. It gives it an extra dimension. Now, designed, this is a smooth one angle arch. Not until you feel it, you can feel where it almost, it like assumes itself as another dimension inside the design. It's really hard to explain, but really easy to feel. You know what I mean? You put it in your hand, and it's just so nice. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing out and we're going to do a whole bunch of cutting and test the edge and all that jazz. But I can tell you, just from the initial get up and go, man, this thing is everything I hoped it would be just by looking at it. I never held one before, but just understanding what I was seeing made me say, yeah, that's a hell yeah type knife. So part one is done. You got into the knife. So the next video is just going to be using. We're not going to go over any specs. We're not going to go over any of this, any of that. I'll just add the link to this video. If you really need to see the specs and you haven't seen this video yet, then that's what you'll be able to do. But it gets this out of the way, and now we are just ready to go ahead and cut. So that's it for this one. Stay tuned because it's coming back. I am Donnie all day. Until next video.